Hi everyone, this is your host Prasha and welcome to her STEM Stories episode number 82. This week marks 2 years of her STEM story and it's such an exciting time that we have been able to connect with a wonderful community and so many fantastic guests. If you're just joining us on this journey, make sure you go back and listen to all 80 plus episodes and learn more about the diverse people in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics professions, and also their diverse stories. Please tune in if you are looking for inspiration, if you're looking for tools and techniques to maneuver your own STEM career, and please stay with us in 2020 because we're taking it to the next level. And today's episode is actually a series in the same direction. So I'm launching my Conquer Your Career beta series, which you'll learn more about during the episode. So make sure you tune in and listen to all the way to the end. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to conquer your career in STEM. 3 simple ways of getting started today. The only things you'll need is a pen and a paper. So keep listening. So a little bit of background, right? I always wanted to be an engineer. And I was a kid, I was, taking a lot of train rides from Delhi to Jabalpur, where my grandma used to live. And so on the train rides, one time I told my dad, how does a train work? And I got stuck in that question for days. And he went to his work and looked up online and printed on a dot matrix printer like a bunch of papers about how trains work. I read through that an entire night. I could not sleep. I was so excited to tell all my friends that what I've read. I had no clue what I had read, by the way. It was an explanation of how a diesel engine actually works. I don't think I can still tell you exactly how a diesel engine works, but the fact is that I was so curious about how things work, and my dad reinforced it by playing a lot of Discovery Channel at home, and so we used to watch a lot of how it's made. And so my love for engineering and technology has always been there when I was a kid, but in India it's also really encouraged as a profession, sometimes to an extreme point. But yeah, I got to do that, and I got to go to school for chemical engineering and then mechanical engineering. And so ever since I started in full-time job, I've always wondered if there is a playbook about how to maneuver your career. And I don't think there is one. I think a lot of us are learning as we go. A lot of us are figuring it out. And there is nothing wrong with it. But I want to make it a little bit easier for all those people who are out there and trying to make their careers work. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how you can conquer your career in STEM. So number 1, know that you have a lot more control over your career than you think you do. It's very easy to blame other people for the way our situations are, our circumstances are. I'm not saying that there's no systemic bias or systemic oppression. There definitely is. And we have to fight that together as a community, and we have to elect better leaders, and we have to work towards better policies. But that's a really global problem. But as an individual, you have way more control over your career than you think you have. And just acknowledging that is really empowering, and it really changes the course of your career. Whether you're still in college or whether you are in full-time jobs, no matter research, postdoc, whatever you are, you have way more control over where you're going than you really think or give yourself credit sometimes. So the easiest way to do it is you only need a pen and a paper. You don't need anything fancy. And just make 3 columns. And in one column, write about what do you love about your job or your career. In the second column, write what do you hate about your job or your career. And then in the third column, write the positions that you see yourselves in 1 year. And so these can be random positions, like, things that really excite you, that you would like to know more about. What would it feel like to be going back to school, for example, if that's what you want to do? Or what would it feel like to ask for that promotion, and what promotion would you ask for? So these are really important questions to think about. So write those 3 things down. Super easy to do, just a pen and paper. And once you do that, again, this is just to tell you where you are. It's not a magic wand. It's just a self-reflection exercise that is going to help you hone into what's going on today and assess it. I really believe in this because a lot of times we don't assess our careers, we don't assess our present day situation, and then situation gets really bad, and over time we realize, oh my God, it's out of control. No wonder it's out of control, because we aren't paying attention on reflecting on where we are today. So if you do this exercise, do it today, do it now, pause this episode, do it. You're going to see something. Something's going to jump at you, whether it's the stuff that you love about your job, whether it's the stuff that you absolutely hate about your job, or whether it's those different opportunities that are out there. One of the tools I recommend all the time is SWOT, which is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You can look it up online. I'll share a link in the episode notes also. That's another great tool to do the same exercise where you write your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats to assess what's possible for you. Because believing that something bigger and something more amazing is possible is step 1. So that's number 1. Know that you have control over your career, and you do. You have more control than you think you do. So there's always space for self-reflection. There's always space for self-analysis. So make time for that. Number 2 is networking. I said that so many times in the past few episodes, but networking is super important, and it's not a dirty word. So it's a very interesting thing, actually, because you're making a lot of connections through your career, and you can use these connections to do a lot of things. And so your career will benefit a lot from the connections that you're making, and never underestimate that. There is a golden rule of networking, which is be genuinely interested. That's the only rule. That's the only big secret. If you're genuinely interested in someone, they are going to remember you. That's just how it goes. The book I recommend for this is How to Influence People and Win Friends. You should definitely read it. I'm going to do a full-length episode about networking. I'm planning to bring in a couple of guests. And, I really plan to do that to help you more with this really big, thing that we don't know how to do it. But again, if you read How to Win Friends and Influence People, you're going to love it, because it's such an honest and great book. It was written about 80 years ago, and it was on the bestseller list forever. And it's really the best communication book you'll ever read. And networking and communication, really go hand in hand. When I say, networking, it literally, the core of networking is communication. And so again, I could do a huge episode on just communication as well. So it's really exciting. But, networking, knowing the right people. So once you write those 3 things in those 3 columns, you'll see like the opportunities that you're interested in. You should be able to find some people that are already in those roles, and you can reach out to them. So, you could use networking like that. So you could just say, if you're doing MS, if you want to do MS, like Masters in Science, then you could reach out to someone who's already doing it, and you could talk to them. And social media is a great way to do that. So you may not even be thinking about these things in this form, but this is really a great tool. And number 3 is that you are very unique, and recognize what makes you unique. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do to showcase your uniqueness, and you really have to make time for finding that in you. And so this show is a great reflection of what makes me unique. I love to talk, and I love to connect with people, and I love to engage with people, and this show gives me that platform to bring my unique self out. And I really want you to explore that option of what that would look like for you. Now, it may just look like a lot of people, like my husband loves to work out, so that brings out his unique self. Like, he loves to do that, and he does more of it. A lot of people love to read, and that brings out their uniqueness. A lot of people would love to, they indulge in the arts in any way, shape, or form that they love, and that brings out and makes them what they are in at their core. And so you have to remember that there's something about you which is different than others, and any combination of these things that you bring in your life, any creative outlets that you bring in your life, are very unique to you. I don't care if hundreds of people are doing it. There are tons of people who are doing podcasts. That doesn't mean that I don't do a podcast, because this is what's unique to me. This is what makes me creative, and this is what brings my creative side out. So I plan to choose this medium. Choose any medium whatsoever. Make it about how much energy it brings to you, than about making it about competition, that there are other people who are doing it, or this is just going to be something you're going to do full time. That's not the point. The point is to make space for your uniqueness, your unique talents to show. And again, we're going to do more episodes, and we're going to dive deep into, this aspect as well, and in 2020. So, again, stay tuned, but again, recognizing what makes you unique. So on your 3 columns, you could add another column and say what makes you unique. So I'll give you my example. So what makes me unique is the fact that I'm an immigrant. I grew up around India. I did not grow up in just one city. I grew up around India, so I traveled a lot in India. I traveled a lot in the US. So those traveling experiences make me very unique, because I have a different set of experiences. Both my parents used to work, so I grew up as a latchkey kid, which makes me super unique, and also adds a lot to my personality. I was an English orator in school, so I used to do English debates, which gives me a lot of skills or just practice from high school on how to talk. So talking makes me really happy. Public speaking is what lights me up. Not a lot of people like public speaking, so that becomes my unique trait. So these are some examples that you can use to again put down the things that make you unique. The best part about this is it'll help you boost your confidence. It'll help you understand your story, where you come from, and what you bring to the table. And again, sometimes just recognizing is really, really powerful. So take that time. It's not going to take more than 10 minutes. So try to write this down. And as we get through 2020, you're going to find more and more techniques and strategies here on the show to completely transform your STEM career and to completely feel empowered and not feel anxious about your STEM journey. And I'm excited to also tell you that I'm super excited to also announce that I'm launching my Conquer Your Career beta series, where I am opening my calendar to talk to you for 20 minutes. And it's a free call, and we're going to talk all about what's making you anxious, and I will give you quick tips on how to fix that. And in return, all I ask is for a testimonial. So for my call. And so please check out the link in the episode notes. Sign up for it. It's completely free. It's in its beta phase, so we're still testing it. But again, just sign up and commit to a fantastic 2020, not just for yourself, but for your entire life. This is going to really help your STEM journey, career, your full personality to show up. So in 2020, commit to yourself. A decade is ending, and a phenomenal decade is about to start. And when you want massive changes, you need to take massive actions. Massive actions start with small actions, and a small action that you can do today is log your name for this call, Conquer Your Career with me, and we can make a change in your life together. So please sign up and tell me all about your STEM anxieties, so I can help you kind of feel like you are in control, because guess what? You are in control. So again, thank you so much for listening. And next episode, we will talk more about very similar strategies and something that will help you grow your career to the next level. And I'll see you again on Wednesday with a very special guest on our Wednesday interview episode. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you again. Bye.